Welcome to another episode of the Thrivve Magazine podcast. In this episode, we had the pleasure to have Deniz a student from Korea that, through determination and patience, managed to land his dream job, and that today is working for one of the best hotels in Vancouver. Let's hear what Deniz has to say. Well, Deniz, first of all, thank you so much for being here and accepting this interview with Thrivve. We are quite excited.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited about this interview because even before I invited you here as a guest, I was already telling some of my students like, oh, I know this guy who is an international student who had a really good job in a hotel. So I used your case story as an inspiration for some of my students. And then I thought, wait, why don't I invite Deniz? So here you are.
Okay. Good to hear. Thanks.
Of course. So could you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where are you from and how you came to Canada?
Okay. First of all, my name is Deniz. And then I'm from South Korea. And then I came to Canada in 2012 after finishing my military service, which is Air Force. And then the main reason to move to Canada for studying is actually start from my dream. I want to be a diplomat, and then I kind of start to search how to be a diplomat. Mm-hmm. And then many majority of Korean who working for international committee like United Nations, they studied in one of the university called Sciences Po Paris, which is located in France. And then they're kind of one of the grand goal. So I applied that university, and then I got failed. I rejected. Mm-hmm. And then from that, then I started thinking but when I got the letter of rejection, it notified that, but this is not end of your journey with our school. Mm-hmm. You can apply, you can come to our school as exchanges program students, either master degree. So we really open for those doors for you. So anytime you wanted to study with us, you can come back. You can apply anytime. So I got from that letter, I start getting some senses and idea. So I start to search about what kind of which university has a connection with that university in Canada. Because from when I was in Korea, I didn't know much about the outside of the world. And then I can see Canada is the only country that speaks English and French as a first, national official language. Yes. And that, of course, I now know Quebec is the only city that speaks French in Canada. But when I was in Korea, I didn't know much about it. So I searching the university in Canada which has a connection with the Sciences Po. And then Simon Fraser University, it's the one of the school that has connection. And then I also I like researching. Mm-hmm. So I went to the Facebook page in Simon Fraser University Facebook page. And then I looking for all the Korean people who added it as a friend.
Oh, wow.
And then I sent the whole email to them about question about the school. What's the education? Kind of environments, do you like about education at Simon Fraser universities and stuff? And then, surprisingly, I met one of the guy called Eric. He's came to Korea as an exchange program student in the Korean university, but he's a Korean. So then I arranged in the meeting with him, and then after I talked, I decided to study at SFU because I feel that's the perfect university that I want to attend it. So that's how I apply, and then I moved to Canada.
Wow. And did you do the whole application on your own?
My own.
Wow.
100%.
Wow, okay.
And then that's the one of the things I really want to tell everyone is that application process is not difficult at all.
Yes.
Normally a lot of people, of course, they doesn't know how to apply. So that's why the easiest way is using an agency who operating and then prepare all the documents and stuff. But actually you don't need to. You just you just need an acceptance letter from the university, and then with that acceptance you just go to immigration website Canada immigration website. And then actually those website clearly shows the step that what you need to go through, and then just like fill out 101. And then if you don't understand, it's okay just using like Google Translate. But still, then that's the point that you need to ask yourself, am I really eligible to study abroad? If you don't understand those process, then you really need to rethink about yourself that, like, did I really wanted to study abroad? Of course, like, language barrier is always there, but still without like understanding about that level of English, you definitely 100% get challenged when you're here for study at the college. So that's why it's better be prepared while you go through those process. And then, like, I think also those when you are like start applying those kind of like visa, like study visas and stuff, I think that's the one of the way you understand about Canadian culture. Because I think those all the system process, it's actually managed by the Canadian system, which is probably not familiar with the countries that like from outside of Canada. And then like if it's identical, then that means like the Canadian culture and social system is more similar with what your country, which is good. But still, like, that's the one of the process of learning, not only simply applying visa, it's one of the process of understanding about the system of Canada. And then once you decide to study in Canada, of course, definitely you have to understand about the system of Canada, because you need to get a house to live, and then you need to pay a tax, even you're a student still. You need to kind of claim those kind of earnings. And then I think, like, there are so many things waiting for you. And then that's the really beginning step. And then once you accomplish by yourself, every further step, it's going to be piece of cake, I would say.
Okay, interesting. I agree with you. I think research before you come here is quite important.
Yeah.
And many people, for some reason, they just like put it aside, right? And then they just allow for somebody else to do their work of applying for the visa for them. And I think it's important for you to get familiar with the process, not only for what you just said, which is if I get familiar with the process, I can identify if, first of all, I'm suitable to study here, and second, I'm more aware of the culture. But also for you to understand if I'm doing this correctly, or if the person that is helping me is doing this correctly, right? So kudos for applying on your own. And then you came here to study at SFU marketing, a bachelor in marketing?
No, actually, I got acceptance as a business student.
Okay.
But I realized that I more wanted to study communication, because the one of the reason is I saw one of the graduate students from business school, and then I see he's still struggling in English. And then I was one of the one who really struggle in English. And then I feel like, okay, even I graduated the business school in Canada, it doesn't guarantee that I can speak English fluently. So then what should I study? And then I can see communication studies is one of the really kind of give you challenge for the language. And then it's kind of not only just about a challenge in language, it actually gives whole perspective of how to think critically. And then about regards to society and like in general everything. So kind of like communication studies learning about the power relationship between society and the media. So kind of I think I got really interested about the communication major. So I switched to the communication major, but still I joining as a business school student. So I took few of lower division of courses in business school. So I just taking as business as my minor. Yeah.
Okay.
So I graduated majoring communication and minoring business. But I wanted to join major, which is get a two both major. But it takes more kind of like I can see if I wanted to join major from my condition at that point was I have to kind of spend more money, more than kind of my graduation credit maximum limit.
Right.
Yeah. So kind of like, I think minors still give a lot of information and then kind of whole perspective idea of business. So I was kind of just taking minor degree.
Okay. And then going to SFU means that you were both with domestic and international students, right?
Pardon me?
Going to SFU means that you were with domestic, like local students, and international?
International students.
Only internationals?
What do you mean?
In your class?
Yeah, in my class.
There was both international and domestic?
Yeah, everyone, like mixed.
Okay. And how many internationals were in your...
It's hard to say. I would say majority of them was of course domestic, I would say. But it's university, so everyone doesn't look like international.
Right.
Yeah, and then, because I want to bring one story. I wasn't living in dormitory, which is accommodation from school for a year at the very beginning.
On campus.
On campus.
Yeah.
And then I kind of wanted to, I really love my school, which is SFU, because back then in 2013, we do have a dining halls, but we just still have dining hall, but dining hall operate 24 hours, like every day, and then they offer the buffet. So you can go anytime. And then I think I heard back then that's the only Canadian university offer those kind of 24/7 unlimited buffet dining, at the college. So like everyone in the dormitory, they are kind of come to the dining hall 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and then we just talk and then just eating and chat. I think that was really good kind of moment back then. But then why I'm bringing the dining hall is like when I went to the dining hall and then I was having a food and one of the guy kind of asked me, are you from Korea? And then I said, yes, I am Korean. And then I'm from Korea. And then he said, oh, you doesn't look like Korean. And then I said, why? And then, because majority Koreans who are studying here, they speak English very fluently, but you're not. So it doesn't look like Korean. It's like, and then I got really shocked.
Yeah.
And then after for a week, almost like I can't get out of the dormitory. I feel kind of shy, and then kind of I feel like I'm really bad at English. And then after that, I feel like, no, I cannot just stay in the dormitory. I'm here for studying and learning and challenging myself.
Yeah.
So I arranging the time with the counselor at the university to speak about this issue. And then I met the counselor, and then I can explain what I had experienced, and that kind of giving me kind of trauma to speak and communicate with the people. And then what she said is, Dennis, when you explain everything, I understand, which means you speak English. Never thought about that. Put yourself that you're not speaking English. And then if I were you, which is if I kind of planning, if I go to Korea for studying university in Korean, I can't speak Korean at all. So you speak both languages, is going to be really specialty for you which is you can speak English and Korean both bilingual as a like profession. So it's like from that point, I changed my mindset. If somebody said, says the same thing before the guys told me, then I would say, can you speak Korean? Like I can speak Korean and English both. I think I should change my attitude in that way. And then I went to dining hall again, and I can see him, and then I met him, and then I told all the story about it. And then he actually his face get red.
Right. Yeah.
And then he kind of explained to me that, oh, Dennis, I feel sorry because it doesn't mean that way at all.
Yeah.
Because he want to be friend with me, and then he make a joke of it. But I take it serious.
Yes.
And then kind of like, that's kind of something that I realized, okay, oh, this is kind of one of my problem. It's not his problem. So this is the kind of point that I really want to tell to all the international students who are planning to come to Canada, like, don't be shy. Always, you got a mistake. And then, like, you're coming to Canada for study, not for actually study. You're here for making a mistake. And then, once you get into the professional kind of stage, which is business area, like it should be professional. It's not like you shouldn't make the mistake at that point. But school is the place that actually you make more mistake and then take it, like making more learning kind of step. And then kind of once you make a mistake, that's the fastest way to learn something.
Of course.
Yeah, I always kind of keep reminding myself. So I love to taking mistake after that. Like I think mistake makes you learn, grow, and then that's the most fastest way. And then once you kind of having that embarrassing experience, you never forget. So which is make a better person, like better, like skilled person. So like that's kind of all I wanted to talk, like say to the international students.
That's great advice. Great advice. I think what I do at my work is I try to get my students hired. That's my job, right? And many of them, what they struggle the most is English. But they struggle the most because they are insecure about it, not because they don't have good English, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then at least I have found, I don't know if this is your experience, but I have found that a lot of people in Canada are quite patient with you not having the best English.
Of course.
Right? So,
which is a really good thing.
Yes. Yeah. So what I'm saying is usually the biggest enemy here is yourself. Right?
Exactly.
Yes, that's a great story. I was about to ask you if you could tell me maybe one of your biggest cultural shocks or challenges while you were an international student, but maybe that was it, right?
I mean, for me, kind of like I think the Canadian culture more. I would say, I don't know. I can say it this way. It's good for me because when I was in Korea, I'm not kind of, my personality is more active, I love to connect with the people. So I always kind of like step forward to people to help. But in the Asian culture, especially Korea culture, not majority actually people feel comfortable those kind of approaching. Yeah, they like people who like I think so. Like majority Koreans are not really comfortable of that, and then some people kind of get against it, like my approaching. So that was kind of for me one of the culture challenges in Korea as a Korean, even I'm Korean. Yeah. So when I got moved in Canada, what I realized is like I'm just like normal, which means you will find it out in Canada. There are like a lot of people beyond personality, like they express what they feel, what they think, just exactly as a naive condition.
Right.
Yeah. So what I realized, even I'm just like normal. So the Canadian culture giving me more like Dennis, you're not a like special, like you're not special. You're just like normal person. I think that actually giving me to be myself more. Because when I was in Korea, I feel like, I should talk less. I should active less because people doesn't feel comfortable in those things. But when I got moved to Canada, like I'm just like normal. My action, it doesn't show in the community. Like even I do speak so much, but still there are so many people speak more than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So kind of that's kind of culture that giving me more comfortable to being myself. I think one of the good thing about living in Canada and then studying in Canada is like Canada is the country giving like people opportunity to be themselves. And the one of the things that I really point out is this: when I went to first of all, like our school SFU doesn't have even when you go to washroom, there's no gender division. Like they started changing every washroom to the genderless washroom. So which is they trying to kind of making those kind of equality. And then even when I go to one of the washroom, that the male session only, and then I see the one of the poster that it says that we just only need a pee, which means kind of like when maybe one of the transgender when they're coming inside the male washroom, which looks like woman, but they come there inside the washroom for their thing. But even you're watching him, like recognize, showing awareness about he's entering the washroom, that actually giving him something feel uncomfortable. And then that start from the discrimination start. So like they just there for their thing, not showing you like off, right? So kind of like university, like kind of call it university, kind of trying to communicate to the student that even your eye contacting and you're just gazing, that also kind of make someone kind of feel uncomfortable. So like live them at just do whatever they want. And then another story is this. I was taking one of the communication classes, and then there's one guy during the classes kind of making noise so weird, like he yelling it, crying it, and the sudden. So as an international student, I was kind of feel uncomfortable because I pay a lot of fee for my education, and he is the one who actually distracting the class a lot. So at the very first week of the school, class, so I always feel like, not really good, not really comfortable. And the second week of the class, and the one of the guy who actually bring him to inside the class, he made a speech in front of every student that he's actually volunteering to people, those people who have an intellectual impairment. They're trying to bring into the class because Canada government wanted to give them to more education opportunity equally with other, like a normal student who doesn't have, not the normal, I don't want to using the words of normal, like student who doesn't have a like intellectual impairment.
Right.
And the way how they kind of present is this. We all here, like the school, everyone here for study, right? And as his prison actually giving more like challenge learning environment, which is we accepting that as kind of one of the learning opportunity. And then he brings diversity into the class, which is more better educational environments.
Right.
So we need to actually appreciate to him to come to our class as a mate, and then we doing taking the same classes because he giving more opportunity to learn about things. So since that kind of experience and learning, and then that giving me the perception of what Canadian education, and then which is I really liked it. And then after that announcement, it doesn't bother me at all. It just kind of understand that as diversity, and that really giving me more freedom of kind of things and knowledge and kind of like figuring out things, and then which is really good because out there are a lot of people different, and then I see as not just wrong. It's just different, which is I'm also kind of different with other people, right?
Right.
It's the same as it. So kind of that's something like giving me, it's not like as being international student, it's not just for taking a Canadian degree for your personal career success. Like learning the education in Canada, it's learning about Canada and then learning about diversity, inclusion, and equality. And which is, I really liked it. And then I feel like I'm becoming a member of society. I feel like I'm becoming an actual real adder to think about accepting those diversity. So which is really, I think that's the one of the reason, like I keep telling people that the studying in Canada, as long as you can managing that opportunity, I think that's going to be a really good choice for you because it's going to change your life as well. So I really recommend to study in Canada.
Yeah, I agree with you. My mother happens to be on a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
And when I first came here and I start seeing how all, like the buses, they lean towards the... Right? And then they open the ramp for the wheelchair to enter.
Exactly.
And then every street has like the ramp for you to be able to go on the sidewalk. Like when I saw all of that, I was like, wow, that's inclusive. Because in Mexico, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, and then people complain, like, why you bring this and yes. Make it, I need to go and stuff.
Yes.
Like, come on, we're living together. I think I kind of learning more the meaning of society, like which is helping to
Community, right?
community.
Yes.
Yeah, like we can't live alone. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I think Canadian culture, it's exactly that, what you're describing. More than nationalism or whatever, it's about community on its own, right? Oh, you have another story. I can see.
No, so it's slow. It's not fast as much as like Asian culture, for sure. Like Asian culture, Korea, like this. Change everything like this. But here, little slow. But I'm sure it's more faster than Europe. For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. And I'm not discriminating Europe, but it's more faster than Europe for sure. But it's slow, but they more thinking. Am I right? And they keep questioning. Is it our best? And then is there anything area that we can more develop? I think that also apply to my life and my work as well. Like all the time. Like even I do the same thing every day. I keep asking myself, is it right? Or is it a better way? Is there something I can make it better? Yeah, I think that's kind of the way that I learned from the studying in Canada as well.
I see. Interesting that you say it's slow.
Yeah.
I also think it's slow, but I don't know if that is because I come from a really big city, right? So Mexico City is 22 million people, right? And then you come to Vancouver. I come to Vancouver and it's 600,000. So for me, it's nothing, right? And I feel like the whole lifestyle, it's slower. Like the pace is slower than Mexico City.
Okay.
Right? Like even in workplace or even in my university, whenever you had an assignment, you needed to do it right away, fast. And here, everything is slower.
Right.
Everything. Yes. Do you feel the same thing?
Yes, I wanted to tell you one thing is, for example, the most important thing, what I think what the Canadian college and university care is your kind of, what's the words? Like ego, like how your like passion for your life and study. As long as you have that passion, even your like you got an F mark, it doesn't matter. Like they keep giving you opportunity and keep giving chance to make it better and improve. They never say kind of, oh, you got F, go away.
Adios. Yes.
Yeah. They keep giving more opportunity and then they trying to listening. So what the happen is SFU, like when I enter, like let's say I have a 30 friends of in my group, then actually people who graduate SFU, it's I would say 6 or 7 people actually graduate SFU, and everyone actually go another university for finding another thing. Because the reason why is like study is not really easy and like kind of relaxed. Like study whole matter is really kind of intense. And then people actually get struggling a lot about that. And then if you got an F mark, then like kind of universities start to like kind of organizing a devising system, and they kind of keep listening their stories of why you get F marks. And then they trying to arranging the better way to he can improve. They keep setting up those kind of things. So, but then like if you got more of those kind of things, then like you start to think, they give more time to think about yourself. And then many majority of them who not graduate SFU at the same time with me is they kind of finding their interest. Because one of interesting fact is, of course, a lot of international students who wanted to move to Canada for study, especially Vancouver area, probably you guys have in your mind the UBC or SFU. But that does not mean you graduate SFU in UBC, you are being succeeded in your life and stuff. It doesn't guarantee at all. Canada is more care about what you like, what you're good at, and what you wanted to do later on. So kind of like more like I would say SFU and UBC is more like research basis like college, which is actually they kind of giving you thinking about how to research, how to create good thing. And then if you really wanted to kind of get a skill, then I would recommend BCIT or other college would be better fit if you really want to do something, learn about skill. And then even after graduation of your university, once you go to a professional field, it doesn't matter like where you graduate, like you actually know how to handle those kind of material, then I think it's good to go. Like rather than where you graduate, where you study. So I think that environment make people to think more what I like, what I wanted to proceed, what I wanted to go, and then kind of giving more better, I think more better direction, which means like more authentic to themselves. Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest challenges that international students report is finding a job. Finding a job. It's quite challenging for many international students. How was your journey finding a job? Was it challenging for you?
For me, like, but first of all, like currently I'm working as a marketing manager at Hyatt Regency Vancouver. But before back then, I was working for as a cabin crew for Emirates Airlines.
Okay, yeah, that's when you graduated SFU and then
SFU, yeah. And then I after finish of 3 years of study, and then I want to be a cabin crew for Emirates.
Yeah.
So I applying job in the world. So I'm just going that city for interview. Yeah. So but I got I tried 8 times.
Oh.
I got 7 fail, and then like 8 times trier I got that job. So the process was not really easy, like for me, but I'll say, but I think the most important thing is not like care about the degree of the difficulty. Like job, it's gonna be kind of things that you need to carry for whole your life. So don't focusing on how hard and how difficult to getting into the job. It's more care about you really want to do that job for the whole your lifetime. And then once you decide you think you're okay and you're fine, then I think there's always a way to figure it out how you get into that kind of business field. And then I think that's the most important. But if you just asking that is really difficult, I think nothing is easy for sure. But this is the thing. If you get a job easy, like if you get an easy job, which is everyone can get, then which means there are less advantage and heritage to get something out of from that. And that if you really challenge and competing with other people, and that you achieve something, then that actually give more better environment to communicate, connect, and kind of live. So for me, of course, I always kind of recommend people to do whatever they want. And the best is not like, don't think about too much about difficulty and challenge. If you really want that, then there's always a way. And then figure out how to do. So,
like applying 8 times to the same company.
Yeah, 8 times the same company. Either find the people.
Yes.
Find the people and talk, and get references, get a support from them. Then that's make your process more easy. Even me, like I know this is kind of crazy and funny, but when I was a college student, I was really nervous. Like, after graduating my university, I see many friends of mine, they are struggling to get a job.
Yes.
So I was kind of that kind of emotion transmitted to me as well. But what I was thinking is this: if I really study hard and work hard, then there are probably one like organization can giving me opportunity. If not, then just go to Granville Station and the being just wearing the swimming Speedo and then with the writing what I did and then just holding it and then just standing there. Then probably media gonna like helping me to get a job. or through the news.
Right.
Like, there are so many ways you can find the opportunity. And and then, of course, the connection is the best way.
Yes.
And then for me, like, I told you the Emirates interview, I got 7 fails. Every 7 fails, it's not just only having interview, oh, I fail, I'm done. It's not like that. What I always do is, I always waiting until finishing all the interview till final. And then I was rating people who having a final interview. And then when they came outside of the final interview, I correct them and I asked them, if you don't mind, I really want to be a kind of cabin crew for Emirates. And then I know you been to final interview and congrats. And if you don't mind, could you share your resume?
Yeah.
And then could you tell me your like advice to me, anything? Like I keep asking to people, like, and then I kept like those people are like they already passed, which means they really love to share their experience. And then I got those kind of advice from them, and then I applied to my resume. I developed my interview process and kind of the way how I like preparing. And this is kind of how I always kind of finding my job and my career. And I'm kind of some point I'm kind of lucky because I'm only attend and work the company that I really wanted to work. Which is, I know this is really difficult thing, but which means even there's another good opportunity means maybe paying out more and more better hour, better working condition, but still, I'm more like the person who concentrate what I like, what I want, rather than better opportunity. Like, better opportunity does not mean better. Like really, you need to ask yourself what you want, what you like.
On the long term, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And then just do what you like rather than what the society tells you this is good.
Yes.
Because like the general idea does not means it applies to you. Because everyone is different, right? So like I more would say answer that question like this, like just asking yourself. Maybe it's not difficult. It's just most difficult thing is finding what you like and what you want.
100%. 100%.
Rather than getting a job. If you like find what you like, you already done everything. Like getting a job, it's not difficult because you know what you like, what you're good at. Then definitely you can sell yourself well because you know who you are. Yeah, I think that's the way how you overcome those difficulties and challenge for getting a job.
Okay, great. I'm gonna try to summarize what you just said. But if you are proactive, if you network and ask questions, and you know what you want, the job will come. Right?
Guarantee.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not guarantee something. I'm not like really a person who guarantees something well, but like to be honest, like. If I see someone who they are and who they like, who they good at it, then like definitely they find their own way to pursue their dream for sure. Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that because I agree with you 100%. Part of what I say to students on this journey to get a job is you need to know what you want, you need to network, and you need to ask questions, right?
Exactly.
Funny enough, a lot of students, they don't know what they want. So the first thing I say is you need to find it, or at least you need to make a list of what you don't want. Because by process of elimination, right? If I don't want this, I don't want this, don't want this one, then you only have so many options, right?
So that's also simple.
Yeah.
That's really easy. First, sit your table and then get to some piece of one of the paper. And then put the one line on the middle.
Yeah.
And then make a 2 category, which is what I like, what I'm good at it. And then what I like, you don't need to using like something fancy word. You just write whatever you like. Eating. I like eating.
Gaming.
Yeah. So simply like what I like. And then what I good at parts is just write down you didn't know much about, you are good at it, but people kind of telling, oh, you're really good at this. Just write things, what people told you that what you are good at it. And then once you kind of see what you like, what you're good at, then trying to using like whole things that you wrote, trying to pulling out one word. One word. And then one word. And then mix it up. And then you will find it out. There are some jobs that you kind of suit for you, which is matching with your personality. And then that's kind of one of the way you will figure it out, what you like, what you're good at. And then at the same time, experience always giving you the kind of feedback. Until you're seeing something, you never know you like it. Until you experience something, you never know you like it. Even, let's say food, at the beginning, you really hate it. But afterwards, you actually, once you keep trying it, you will like it.
Yeah.
So which means, like, let yourself to, like, giving more opportunity to discover the world.
Yeah.
I think that's the one of the way why I want to be a cabin crew for Emirates, because Emirates is the company giving me more opportunity for discover them myself. I'm not being a cabin crew for discovering the world. I can discover the world. I can buy a flight ticket. I can go just travel. But that unique experience giving me more learning about myself. Because of that giving me the most significant part is giving me more opportunity to communicate with people rather than just traveling. And then in Canada, also one of the reasons why I moved to Canada is more that opportunity. But at the same time, the funny thing is, no matter what nationalities are, people who living in Canada, they become more Canadian. Which is that as a multicultural, we become a Canadian, which is, it's different from outside of the world. And so, like, being a cabin crew and then flying somewhere, that destination, I can see a lot of local people who have kind of, like, observe all the culture from that country. And then with that, having conversation, connecting with those people, actually, for me, that giving me a lot of references, a lot of thinking kind of like space to think. And then I think that's how I figured out what I'm good at, what I like. And then don't scare to change your mind too. And then don't scare to say things you like. Once you speak out to your friends and family that what you like, what you're good at, what you want it to be, that give you responsibility about those words. So that giving you more motivation to do something. But even you change, like, and then at that point, a lot of people scared to kind of changing their mind because I already said I want to do this, and kind of I can't say things to change to people. Then don't, like, anytime we can change our mind, but really kind of asking yourself, like, that's really what you want. If the answer is yes, then why not? Don't waste your time, like, to kind of keeping that what you said previously because you already changed, but kept it on your past is not right.
Right. Yeah. And is this process the one that took you from working at Emirates to work at Hyatt? Like, is this process of thought the one that took you from working?
For me, when I'm working for Emirates, I think that giving me more opportunity to discover the world and people and culture. And then afterwards, I kind of wanted to do something related to my study. So that's why I'm moving to marketing and PR agency, which is giving me more, like, kind of fast growing experience, because normally agency, you get a more opportunity to experience many different things. So you can get more better knowledge about PR marketing. And then through that, I work with a lot of global brands too, like Gucci, Snapchat, like Samsung, or like other, like Marriott, other even beauty brand and pharmaceutical brand, healthcare brands. Like through that, I kind of figured it out. Oh, I think I like more hospitality industry. And at the same time, my background is hospitality. So if I wanted to more moving forward to the hospitality marketing and PR, then that's what something I can be better.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I think Hyatt is one of the kind of well-known global hotel chain. I think for me, I think it was kind of lucky to me, like to get a job as a marketing manager at Hyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of what my transition was.
Interesting. So from this point onwards, what are your plans for the future? Like, do you want to live in Canada in the long term? Because you mentioned before that you wanted to study for diplomatic in France. Is that still a thing? Or what's the plan for Deniz?
I mean, first of all, I always do my best for my current life.
Yes.
So of course, I kind of focusing on what I'm doing now. But at the one point is, I like through my marketing like work, especially strategy. So marketing, normally I can categorize 5 different things, which is strategy and digital marketing, offline marketing, PR, and partnership. I think that's the 5 key factor. And then for me, I'm more like actually strategy part. And then because of strategy, that's kind of what really make like visions to where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then through that, I kind of realized I have a kind of lackage of dealing with the data and analytics. So I wanted to data sciences for my master, and then to being a good marketer, like good marketing person.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of one of the goal, that academic goal. And then for my career goal, definitely kind of I want to move to the corporate side. Like now I'm working at the property level, but I wanted to move to more corporate side. So I wanted to in charge of those kind of branding and like strategy of the brand to control whole in the global spectrum. I think that's one of the reasons or so why I moved back to Canada, because Canada is part of the American market.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of more bigger market. Yeah. So that's kind of one of the goal that I'm thinking of for now.
Interesting. Are you already a PR, permanent resident? Or?
No, I don't. I do not. I'm still like a postgraduate work permit.
Okay.
Yeah, and then luckily, I mean, I don't want to say luckily worse, because of the COVID actually helped me to extend
Yes.
my postgraduate work permit, which is 3 years. Yeah, and then that's kind of like using that visa. I'm currently working, and then now I'm working in a professional field, so I think I can apply like processing immigrants here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a kind of big deal, so it's gonna be my choice. Which I liked it, rather than just because one of the things I really wanted to remind everyone is don't study for or work for those PR. PR is just kind of the right, which is you're really become a good asset for the country. Wherever you go in the world, you can get a PR easily, like permanent resident, everyone. So kind of for me, it's better focus on yourself, your skills and knowledge,
right.
Rather than, of course, like you need to see what the criteria and what's the process of how to get your PR. But like, I think the most important thing is like, make those kind of PR as an option rather than like must thing to
right. Like it's almost like if you focus on yourself and be a really good asset and really good professional, PR would be a result of just being good at this.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I always think,
right.
And put myself as the position. In the world out there are so many great opportunity. Like don't limit it yourself just only Canada.
Yeah, I want the PR. Right?
And Canada, like studying Canada is gonna be best. I think for me best option, but that means your whole life is gonna be. It does not mean your life is gonna be Canada. Of course, it can be, but through like having a degree from Canada, you can actually kind of explore the world. And then I see a lot of my college students, they are not now staying in Canada, but still they are outside of Canada, but they still really doing well themselves too, and then they're really happy with that.
Right.
So
right.
I think even the whole journey of studying, being an international student, is not just like, the point is should be studying in Canada. It should be being happy. Like, how make you happy, how make your life happy. That's kind of the one like way to approach to studying in Canada, rather than just don't target anything that like.
I think I agree with you. I think the target should be enjoying, so being happy, but also improving, right? So being better.
Exactly.
If you do both things, then results will come, whether that's the PR or not.
Right.
I mean, the reason I was asking more than anything, it was because you mentioned if you want to study the master's, sometimes for PR it's cheaper and that kind of stuff, right? Those soft details. Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
And then one thing is, once you graduate your bachelor degree in Canada, you might want to study master, not just Canada, like there's a United States, or like UK, United Kingdom is 1 year degree. And then I saw some program in Montreal, they are 1 year program too. So kind of, there are so many options. So kind of, yeah, that's what I kind of think of. So PR, it's just kind of, for me, like, it's not the goals of study. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, before I let you go, one last question.
Yep.
Although your conversation has been full of really good tips and advice, but we always
I hopefully.
No, it was. But we always end our interviews with the question: is there any one more advice that you would give for international students?
I think when I think about like back then, just I think do not give up, and then like love yourself. I think that's kind of the one of things that I really want to point out. It's because the reason why I said love yourself is when you prepare to study abroad, everything, small little thing become really big issue for you. And then that telling you actually you're not right person, you're not required, like you're not like set person. But remember that nothing is like ready, like, and then nothing is perfect moment. And then we just kind of like learning, keep growing, and kind of we take the challenges. So the whole process, like as long as you know how to love yourself, I think that's the biggest power, like kind of power, motivation, and like it can be like support, like to you to do like finishing your degree in Canada really kind of in a good way.
Right.
Yeah. So I think never give up and love yourself, and then just keep asking yourself that what you like, what you want, and and then don't limiting yourself. And then I think the big hustle to limit yourself, it's not the society, it's not other requirements, it's actually you.
Your head, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't limiting yourself. Always open your potential to anything, everything.
Okay, great. My friend, this was great. Thank you so much for this conversation. I think there's a lot of things that people in general can learn, but especially international students, of course. If they would, you would be okay for some students, if they have questions, can they reach out to you?
Of course. I love to.
Would you like to say your Instagram handle or your email or somewhere where they can reach out?
Like you can reach out any method, because I also kind of open for like any communication tools and channel.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you have any question, definitely reach out to me. And then I actually doing few I kind of set some time for helping those kind of people to answering questions, because there are a lot of people following my Instagram for being a cabin crew in a one point. So I also like love to responding and then cheer them like up and kind of, because what I got is this: everyone actually they have their own answer, but they just don't realize that what they really have answer. So my whole communication was always all the time just telling what they have already, but I love to kind of like communicating and connect with the people, and then also that giving me a lot of kind of learning time, learning point as well. Yeah, so anytime.
Okay, great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks so much.
Right. Thanks for listening to another episode of Thrivve Magazine, a magazine for and by international students in Canada. If you want to know more about us, please visit our website at thrivve.ca.